Welcome back to Drive Your Thoughts podcast. I'm your host, Master Coach Carrie Marshall, and it's time to go after those goals.
Yeah, whether ready or not, life's coming hard, no breaks, no stop. And if you put me on the spot, don't get it twisted, I never drop. If you feel a bit out of control and out the box, here's a way that you could drive your thoughts. Turn this podcast on, it's a lock. Carrie Marshall on the clock.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Carrie Marshall here, and today I want to talk to you about visualization and why it's important. So in a couple of episodes before this, I talked about vision boards, and I talked about having two specific vision boards. And so today I want to talk about why vision boards have been a success for me, and then why visualization has been successful for not only myself, but also my clients. So when I was a teenager, I went to a youth success camp called Eagle University. It's still around. I actually send my kids to it now as well. It's a really great program. You've maybe heard me talk about it here on the podcast before, but that was the very first time when I went to my own success camp when I was a teenager where I heard about vision boards. So we had all of these magazines out, and they said like, hey, take this, this poster board, this half poster board, and put anything that you want on there. And so at the time I put something like, I was really obsessed with weddings. I loved wedding magazines. I loved dreaming about my wedding. I loved thinking about my wedding. So that was like the first thing I went to. I think I was like 14 or 15 at the time, but I was like, I got to find the perfect dress to put on here. So I spent a lot of time on my vision board just with my wedding. Like there was a whole wedding section, but then also I put things like, I wanted to be vacationing. So I put like a beach. I put a house on there that was kind of this gorgeous house, and it had like a pool in the background. I put like a baby face on there because I wanted to make sure that I had kids. So there was several things on there that I wanted, but really, it was kind of about my wedding on that vision board. And so I learned how to like cut out these these little images from magazines and then put them on a board. And I was like, oh, that's fun. But then they talked about putting it somewhere that you could see it every day. And so they really encouraged us at this success camp to then put this vision board somewhere that we could see it every single day. And so I thought, well, okay, I guess so. I'll put it in my closet. I go to my closet every day. It's not like out in my room. And so I just thought I'll just post it back there. So go throughout my teenage years, I'm looking at this vision board every single day. I forget about it most of the time. The only time I think I really consciously think about it is when I'm like painting my room and I have to move my vision board, and then I have to make the decision, like, do I put this back up? And so I did. I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's in the back of my closet. It's totally fine. So let's go forward and go to, I'm married and I am moving into a home with my new husband. And once again, I have to move this vision board. And so I take the vision board off and I look at it, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, this is so weird. Everything that I had about my wedding came true on that vision board. I had these very distinct flowers. I had this wedding dress that I had been looking at for years. All of these like little things that I had found and put on this vision board had actually happened with the wedding. Now I looked at the other side of the vision board, this amazing house, a baby, these vacations that I wanted to take. And I thought, I wonder what would happen if I took my vision board with me. And so I thought, you know what? It's fine. I have a closet at my new house. I'm just going to take it with me. And so I did. I took my vision board with me and I kept it back at the back of my closet again. Every time I go to grab something, I'd actually now intentionally look at that side of the vision board that hadn't happened in my life. And so I started to say things like, I can't wait until I go to the beach. I can't wait for the house with the pool. I'm so excited to have kids. And so then I started to intentionally engage with the vision board. And so now fast forward, we're moving again into our house that has a pool. And I have an opportunity to take my vision board with me or throw it away. And I look at my vision board and every single thing in that vision board has happened for me. I have kids. I have been on these amazing vacations. I'm moving into a house with a pool. I had my dream wedding. And so I thought to myself, wow, every single thing on this vision board has come true. And I want to keep it to remind myself that vision boards work. So I kept it, moved it into my new house. It is still in the back of my closet. And now I have a new vision board because I've created something new. I want different things. So that was my first kind of experience with vision boards. Now, this was a long process, right? It didn't happen immediately, but I did have this belief that vision boards worked. And so I want you to think for yourself about, how do you visualize your future? How much time do you spend actually engaging with your future and what you intentionally want to create for your life? I find that a lot of adults get to a certain point where they only visualize their future up to, oh, I'm married and I have a job and I have kids. And, maybe I've had a couple of cool experiences, but we've thought about that process. Most of us have since we were kids. I have a daughter that's in elementary school, and still they're asking them, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And so she's saying things like, I want to go to college and I want to do this. And so it's very much gets her. And when I hear her talk about it, it gets her to about 35, 40. But as a 40-year-old, I'm like, yeah, then what? Do we stop dreaming? Do we stop visualizing our future? Do we stop intentionally thinking about what we want to create for our lives? Or are we intentionally engaging with our future where we're visualizing what we want to experience, where we're visualizing where we want to live and what we want to buy and the experiences that we want to have? And so I want you to think about how you're engaging with your future. How are you actually creating intentionally from your future self and then engaging with it? And so one of the best things that I found is to have these small visualizations around me. So that was one way, which is like kind of the traditional way of doing a vision board. I was at Master Coach training, and I can't remember exactly who said it, but one of the coaches, a master coach that was there, was talking about how she uses her phone to visualize things and to make basically a vision board on her phone. And so she was telling us that she does this, and she said, how many times do you look at your phone screen a day? And we were like, oh, dozens. Maybe more than a dozen times, right? Maybe even 100 times I'm looking at my screen every single day. And she said, I love that people put like pictures of their spouse or their partner, a dog, your family. She's like, I think that's great. But she said, what if we engaged with our future self by putting our vision board on our phone and our screen? And so I thought about that and I thought, yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. So I instantly went on and I changed my screen, and I changed it to the thing that I wanted really a lot right then was to be a master coach. And so I just changed it, and it said something like, I am a master coach. And that was my unlock screen. And then my other screen was like my business logo or something. I can't actually remember what it was, but as I started to look at my screen every single day, I started to say, like, I'm a master coach. I'm a master coach. I started to really visualize that. So the second way that I learned how to do a vision board is on my phone. And I will tell you, the craziest things have happened when I intentionally put that on my vision board. One of the things that I also wanted was I wanted to be able to work from in Hawaii and bring my kids along with me. Now, I don't have any clients in Hawaii, and of course I can do my work remote, but I was like, yeah, I want to like get paid to be in Hawaii. And then it just so happened that somebody called me and said, hey, I have this retreat. It's in Maui. It's in Wailea. I would love for you to come and speak at this retreat. And I was like, yeah. I just put that on my vision board like 6 months before. And so then I was getting paid to go to Maui, which is where I wanted to be. I have my family's there. And so I got paid to go out and visit family and bring my kids along with me. It was incredible. A lot of you have heard the story of my husband and I wanting a Hummer. And so I switched that over, a childhood dream. I was like, why not just pop it on my phone? Why not just engage with the Hummer every day? And so then it became my vision board on my phone. There's so many opportunities that we have to use these visualizations in our life, but we're kind of holding back because we don't actually realize how important and how much those small little snippets of time can actually matter to us. So the two things that I want to encourage you to do is, number one, go back to the old school traditional way of a vision board. Like, find yourself some magazines if you need to, go and buy some, use some catalogs that come into your mail, and then go and create a vision board. Set it somewhere that you're going to look at it every single day, and then really watch how you can engage with it. What do you say to yourself when you see your future and what you want looking back at you on a vision board? The second thing is, change your home screen, change your lock screen. What do you want in the next year that you can engage with in pictures? I love to use Canva. And so one of the things that I did was I actually went onto Canva. It's an app that you can use to create visual, like little images. So I went onto Canva and I just put in vision board, and one popped up. And so I could change all of the images on that. So that's one thing that I did. You can also just grab any type of thing that you want, maybe just screenshot it. And then once again, make that your new screensaver. Do it on your camera, do it on your phone, do it on your computer, anywhere that you have a screen. We're actually just setting up right now to have our TVs in our house go and make the home screen, the lock screen, instead of the little whatever bouncing around. We're actually going to make it our family vision board. And that's going to be really fun, because as we have that available in our home, if the TV's on, then if it ever goes to the sleep snooze screen, it'll actually be our family's vision and things that we want for the future. So think about these different ways that you can engage with your life, with your future. A really easy way is if you pull into a garage, is there somewhere that you can put something that you're actually looking at every single day? So one of the things that I just realized, I was on a beach in Hawaii just this past winter. And so we're there for several weeks. So every beach I went to, I noticed that there were people reading this certain book. And so it's, a hot read. Everybody wants it. Some people call it like the summer hit. Well, I'm on my fifth beach and I'm seeing somebody else read this book. And I realized I want to write a bestseller. I want to come to beach after beach and see my book being read. And so I was like, wow, that feels big. But I knew instantly that that was what was going on my vision board. It was going on my physical vision board. It was going on my screensaver vision board. It is something that I want to engage with deeply. So let's talk a little bit about visualization now, just while we sit and we, sometimes people call it meditating or something. I have two of my very, very favorite people. They're twins. They are Courtney and Kelly. I love them to pieces. They are actually past clients of mine, really good friends. They have created some amazing things in their life. And I'm actually really excited. I want to get both of them on the podcast, or maybe we'll do it all together. But for right now, what you need to know about Courtney and Kelly is that they are both very, very huge into visualization. They believe in, they've read Joe Dispenza books and things like that. But I was coaching them both separately, but we were talking about visualization and how to visualize your future, how to actually get into the mindset of visualizing their future. And we were talking about how important it is to be able to spend some time in your future. Now, when you sit down, this is what I want to kind of offer as kind of a step-by-step guide, is understand, number one, it doesn't need to take a lot of time. When we first start to do visualization or meditation, it really can be just a couple of minutes. Find yourself a quiet spot that you're not going to be interrupted, turn your phone on airplane mode, and then just sit down, take a couple of deep breaths in and out, and then close your eyes. Now, as you close your eyes, get very intentional about the thing that you want. So for instance, if I want to visualize that I have a bestseller book that everybody on the beach is reading, I actually visualize this one beach in particular. It's called Big Beach is what we call it. But I visualize myself walking through the parking lot. I visualize myself walking into the beach. The beach sand is really, really, there's a lot of it. And so you kind of sink into it. So I visualize like kind of struggling a little bit to walk onto the beach, but I visualize the lifeguard tower on my left. I visualize a beach to my right where everybody is. And I visualize glancing over and seeing my book cover. Now, when I start this visualization process the first time, I don't know what my book cover looks like, but I see someone reading a book and I ask myself, what does my book cover look like? And it's okay if the answer is, I don't know. But here's what I want to tell you is that as you start to visualize, you can start with like walking through a parking lot or telling yourself like, I like close my eyes. On YouTube, you'll be able to see the video, but I close my eyes and I'm going to ask myself like, okay, I know I want to have a best-selling book that is like a summer read that people read at the beach. I want to be able to see my book everywhere. What beach are we at right now? And I tell myself, I don't know. And then I ask myself, but what beach do you want it to be at? And I'm like, oh, big beach. It comes instantly. So allow yourself the visualization process where you can kind of play around. This is your playground. You get to kind of try on different things and see what feels good. Maybe today it's going to be Big Beach. Maybe tomorrow it's going to be a different beach. It's going to be Sugar Beach. So kind of understand that you can kind of play around with your visualizations. But then once you find a visualization, I want you to tap into it and ground yourself into it. This is my future. This is my life. That's one thing that Courtney and Kelly are so good at, is that they not only get really good at the visualization part, but they get really good at then grounding down into their future and telling themselves like, yes, this is what I see myself doing. I know I can make it happen. So like I told you, it doesn't need to be very long. It can really be just a couple of minutes. But then after that, I want you to just kind of ask yourself, what do I need to have happen in order for this to be true? So you don't need to solve all of the hows, but for instance, if I'm visualizing myself having a bestseller, then I know that this is such a simple answer, but this is the thing that came to my mind when I'm like, what do I need to do in order to have a bestseller? First thing that popped up was you need to write a book. It sounds so simple, but I was like, yeah, that's what I need to do. So then from there, you can start to create steps for yourself. So all of this is just to kind of tell you like visualization really is powerful. Being able to put yourself in an energetic space where you can start to visualize your future and see what's happening is so important. But also when you have visual images, things like that on your phone, in your closet, wherever you decide to put these vision boards, your subconscious goes to work to make it happen for you. The very first time that I had any indication that this was real, I was not consciously engaging in that vision board. It was something that I had just glanced at, stared at, whatever, several times a day, just because it was there. But I wasn't intentionally going about trying to make it happen. But like I mentioned with the whole wedding thing, when I went back and I actually then focused on it, I was like, wow, every single thing on there happened for me. Wow. Every single thing that I ever wanted on that vision board came true. And so I just want to encourage you to start to use visualization, images, actual physical things that you can look at to remind you of what you want in your life. And for those of you that tell or say or are thinking, I don't know what I want, now is a really good opportunity for you to decide what you want in your life. I have one of my clients that recently retired, and I kind of asked him like, well, what are you wanting? And he said, I don't know. He's like, I'm at that point, and I've talked about this before, but he's like, I'm at that point where I've succeeded in everything. And I said, right now is a really good time for you to really like go out and explore your life now. Go and figure out what you want. Go and try new things. It doesn't matter how old you are, but it's what you're wanting to really create. And so if you're at that stage of saying, I don't know, then right now is a really good opportunity to go and find out for yourself what you're interested in. I hope this has been helpful. I really want you to go out and make some vision boards, take pictures of them, send it to me on Instagram. I would love to see vision boards popping up again. Let's do it on our phones. Let's have actual physical ones that we're creating. This is going to be really fun for you to start to engage with your future through visualization and images. I'll catch you next time. Bye. Thanks for listening to this podcast episode. If you're ready to get in the driver's seat of your own life, you can come and follow me at Drive Your Thoughts Coaching on Instagram, or come and see more ways to work with me at driveyourthoughts.com.
Yeah, whether ready or not, life's coming hard, no breaks, no stop. And if you put me on the spot, don't get it twisted, I never drop. If you feel a bit out of control and out the box, here's a way that you could drive your thoughts. Turn this podcast on, it's a lock. Carrie Marshall on the clock.